good. Thank you for all that, Travis. Did you see all that work Travis has done and all the tech stuff? Very fun. Good job. Let me keep letting people in. People are still rolling in from the waiting rooms. Give me just 1 second. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So everybody starts out muted. And a little bit later, I will explain how to unmute yourself and all that kind of stuff. But everybody's muted. So if you're new tonight, let me give you a tip. To see the speaker best tonight, you can set your features up for gallery view. I'm sorry, for speaker view versus gallery view, and that will be helpful. I'm going to try to keep up on the spotlights and keep the people that are speaking in the screens up on spotlights. I have multiple capabilities now, which is kind of cool. So we're kind of playing around with new features here on my end. We've got Travis working the tech end, so we're going to have some fun tonight. I have a few announcements before we hand it over to Art. Number one, I'll do the Battlefield Moms group forum first, since Travis has our little picture up. So we have something new that we're doing every Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Kristen and I will be on Zoom for any of you moms that want to join us for some coffee and conversation. This is going to be an opportunity, number one, to discuss the topic from the night before. So us moms can talk about whatever topic there was and just process. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, you know, if you've got questions about your situation and whatnot, and just a sharing time. So we'll be available for that 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. So please join us. You can reach out to me on Messenger, via text, whatever, to get the link. It will be the same link each week for that group, just like Solution Group is this link. It's a different link for the moms group. But once you have the link, you'll always have it and you can join us. So we'd love to have you. So that's 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. Next, we've got our work crew that's been happening. So a couple weeks ago, we announced a work crew, these guys in recovery that are looking for work to do. And quite a few families have reached out, had some work. And so we have some pictures today from the Penningtons. You can see the guys were busy today working out there. I'm not sure what they were doing. Travis, can you tell us what you were doing? Cam, what were you doing today?
We spread out 8 yards of chips all around the Pennington's backyard, and yeah, just loaded it and spread it out and got it done.
Fabulous. So that's just an example. Maybe you've got some chips that need to be spread at your house, or maybe you've got dump runs that need to be done, or whatever it might be. You can reach out to me and I'll hook you up with the right person, and the guys will give a bid, and they will take great care of you. So if you've got any work that needs to be done, let us know, and we will hook you up. We've also got the cleaning crew. I sent out a text yesterday to everybody about our cleaning crew, and that's cleaning. Shelly and Liz are looking for jobs cleaning offices, homes. I can tell you they're meticulous with their cleaning. They do a good job cleaning. So if you're looking for cleaning, please connect with us too, and they would love the work, and they'll do a great job for you. So reach out. It's very strange not to see the room. I'm talking to a picture. It's very strange. Mom's Girl. Okay, and then final announcement is simply on February 23rd is our next In the Spotlight with Battlefield Addiction. And our next speaker is going to be Evan Haynes, who is a co-founder of Aloe Recovery down in Malibu. And he will be the next person to join us. If you joined us the last couple months, we had Bob Forrest in December, who started us off on the series. And then we had Dave Smith in January. It's just been a fun time to have someone really cool in the industry to come join us, an expert in the field. And Travis, you got a special message over there from Evan Haynes down in Malibu?
I do. We're going to play it now.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Art. I just wanted to wish you happy birthday month. I look to you as kind of a big brother. You're 8 months older than me, so you forge ahead. You make sure the coast is clear. As long as you're alive, I know I've got a good chance to make it another 8 months at least. I'm sorry I can't be there. I know we'll be tuning in soon for solutions group, which I look forward to. But miss you all. Happy birthday, Art. We'll talk to you soon.
There's actually a little something else we got, Angie.
Oh, what is it?
This is Art's yearbook pictures. Good looking.
Oh, look. Thank you, courtesy of Tina Curtis. Thank you for sharing those yearbook pictures. Tina's on tonight, and she's actually featured right next to Art in the original of those photos. Thank you, Tina, for sharing. So happy birthday month to Art. Thank you, Evan, for the special message. Thank you so much. Are you ready, Art?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to hand it over to you. Now I'm hearing an echo.
How's that, Ange?
Just keep talking, and I'll let you know if it's too bad.
Are we ready?
Well, it's pretty echoey.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Okay, let's turn off the camera mic.
Yeah, I'll finish letting people in because people are still rolling in.
Is that better, Ange?
I think so. Keep talking.
Okay, is that better?
It's quiet, but it's not echoey.
How's that?
I think that's better.
Are we turning this one off? Sorry. Okay, we good?
I think so. You got to say a few more words for me to really know.
All right, well, why don't I just get started, and if you can't hear me, you stop.
Okay.
Can I put this closer to me?
No, this is going to come closer to you.
Okay,
Move the mic, please.
how's that?
Maybe.
Okay.
Hey, Becky, what do you think? I can't see Becky. Are we good?
Say something.
Okay, we good?
Keep talking. Just go ahead.
No. She says no. We're not gonna turn it up. I don't know how we turn this mic up, guys.
Is this the same as last week?
Yeah.
I didn't have this on last week.
It's not on right now.
No, I'm talking about this thing on my body.
I know. It's not on right now. It's not on.
Hey, while you guys figure that out, Logan's coming in. Yeah, while you guys are figuring that out, hey, let me just take a moment. Obviously, you can see I'm in the same location as I was last week. I've gotten so many messages from so many of you. Thank you so much. I'm down in Florida. I've stayed another week down here. Many people have asked about my mama, and I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. My mom just a few weeks ago was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and she's also in congestive heart failure. And so I came down here to help take care of my mama and my dad. And I'm just so grateful that I can be here. And so thank you for all the messages. And so thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the love.
Okay, Ange, that's better?
Oh, that's way better. Yes.
Okay.
Let's keep doing that. Whatever you just did, let's keep that up.
All right. Whew. It's been a long week. We've made it the 2 weeks on the diet. I just hit day 16 today of my diet. No carbs, no sugar, only water. So we live only water, warm and cold. I prefer cold. Sometimes it gets warm. So those are your options. So I have water and then a little water and then later some water. And then I have a lot of broccoli. Broccoli is now $2.99 a pound at Fred Meyer's if you want to buy this. Nice. I think that's Travis. Is that you with the noise?
I think that was somebody else. Sorry, guys. I muted him.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyways, we go with meat and broccoli or meat and asparagus. Asparagus is $4.99 a pound. Broccoli is somewhere around $2. If anybody knows any better asparagus prices, I'm tired of paying top dollar for it. So we could maybe get a deal. Anybody's growing it, we could buy it from them or something. But anyways, the long story short, we're down 10 pounds here at Camp Art, and I've never had a birthday month before. That's very weird. I'd like to celebrate the whole month. That's kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate the whole month. You know, as I've always said, that as I've been going along with this thing, that you know, that it's not really, none of this stuff is a doing. There's not really a doing into change. You don't really. I don't think change is a doing. I don't think you can do your way into change. I just don't think that that's. I mean, there are definitely some actions that can be taken that will change direction or something like that. But for the most part, I think that what happens is change is a scene. Change is being able to see things differently than you saw them before. And as you go on, what happens is you learn through seeing. So you didn't see it, now you see it. You didn't know it, you didn't know it, then you know it. And, you know, as I've come here, I've been working in addiction for a long time. And, you know, we were really hyper focused on people not using drugs at the big house. And we were hyper focused on people, you know, just staying clean. And we were also focused really on calming of people's energy and actually waking people up and recognizing all this stuff that's going on and to be able to watch yourself. And we've gone down tons and tons of different roads. And it eventually came out that, that, you know, we would need to get somebody to admit they're powerless and their life's unmanageable. And that is a step one of any program, I guess. But I think that what's happened now is I've come to the realization that all these kids that come to me and what I'm seeing around me is this feeling that everybody has, not just people that are using drugs and alcohol, but everyone kind of having this feeling that they're powerless and their life's unmanageable. And what I mean by that is like the ability to make a difference and feeling that we don't matter. And I said to somebody today, I said, how could you be happy and not matter? And how could you say, I'm really happy, I don't matter? I'm really happy, I don't make a difference. And in order to say you're happy, you have to be able to say you make a difference and you have to matter. And I think also you could never say I'm really happy and I don't have any love in my life. I think you have to say I'm really happy and I have love in my life. I don't think it would work any other way. And so I think the hardest thing to get people to admit is not that they're powerless over their addiction, but that they're powerless over their life. And the things that they're missing in their life are love and actually the ability to make a difference and the ability to matter. So this idea that we could have somebody in treatment and not teach them one, or not even get somebody to a point, you know, I think very few people can get to the point in their life where they just admit that they don't have any love in their life and they don't know how to love and they don't love anyone. And I think very few people can admit that, come to the conclusion that maybe I don't matter. And that maybe drug use, alcohol was a response to not mattering. Maybe it was a response to not making a difference. You know, maybe it was a response to not feeling love. So this second step that we've been using, which is drugs and alcohol, is a response to the first step. And the first step being, hey, I don't matter. I don't make a difference. I try to tell people to do something for me and they don't want to, or I try to get my way and it doesn't work out, or I try to have success and it doesn't work out. And this not mattering thing, this business of not mattering is important, but it only starts when you admit that you want to matter. You have to admit that you want to matter. And what I see from my perspective is a lot of people that are not willing to admit that they want to matter. A lot of people not just too cool to matter, too cool to say, I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in the lives of my family. I want to make a difference at my job. I want to make a difference with my kid who's an addict. I want to make a difference. And too many people are just not ready to say, I want to make a difference. They're not ready to say, I feel like I don't matter and I want to matter. And they're not ready to say, hey, I don't love, I hate right now. I don't experience love. I experience frustration, anger. I experience powerlessness. I experience unmanageability. I experienced all this stuff. But what are we actually coming to the conclusion that is unmanageable? And if you really look at it, well, you're really just experiencing this feeling of domination. And I have a lot of people that come to me and they experience this feeling of domination, being dominated by life, being dominated by the relationship, being dominated by failing, being dominated by getting an apartment, losing it, being dominated by your kid's addiction, just this utter feeling of people being dominated. And with that, I said learning is a seeing. And as I learn about addiction, I don't do anything. I just see it differently. And I just continue as the years go on to see it differently. And I look and I see all these people that are trying to stay clean. And then I see them not willing to admit that they don't matter and not willing to admit that they want to matter. And you're trying to stay clean without admitting that. Because what we then see is that people go on to be clean and not make a difference. And this can only go on so long before you got to use drugs again. When you're not making a difference in your life, when things aren't working out, when you're struggling, when it's very hard, when you're not experiencing love, you will relapse. And so this idea of purpose and creation and finding a way to matter. And I think that the worst part is that when people say, I want to make a difference, they always go right to helping people. And that's like the only outlet people know how to go make a difference. I'm not talking about that. Like, actually, go do something, start a business. You don't have to help anyone. Start a business, actually succeed and create the dream house you want. Actually, buy a truck and fix it up, restore it. Whatever it is that you want to do to create. And it's very odd that we're talking about this tonight. And this, seeing here in this room, how this house has begun to create. And this room, how it's changed over the last few weeks. And this house, how it's changed. And all because of Travis and his mind creating, thinking and creating. You know what's happening to Travis when he's thinking and creating? He's not hating. He's not frustrated. He's not feeling anger. He's feeling joy and happiness. And so as he goes to bed at night, he's not thinking about who wronged him all day. He's thinking about what he can do tomorrow. And that's how you stay sober in life. And that's how you actually feel like you can do something on this planet that will be worthy of a life that you have, that you don't want to use drugs and alcohol because you might lose it. And that's the biggest thing that I see with people trying to remain clean and trying to stay off drugs, is they haven't built a life and created a life that is necessary to keep without using drugs. So instead, they're willing to burn it all down because it ain't nothing, because they haven't created a life that is one they want. They're actually something else. And so what I actually have seen, and I see it everywhere now, I see it everywhere. I can't avoid seeing it anymore. It's like once seen, you can't stop seeing this. And when I tell you about it today, sometimes when you see a car, you buy a certain type of car, and then you can't stop seeing that car everywhere. But before you bought it, you never saw that car on the road. It's kind of like that. And I'm going to tell you something what's going on right now. And when you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. And you're going to see that this is what's going on. In response to feeling powerless, in response to not creating, in response to not being able to make a difference, in response to not mattering, in response to not feeling loved, people are playing the victim. They're doing it everywhere. They're playing the victim in their own life. It is this big role that people are playing, that life is unfair, life has cheated them, somebody's wronged them, somebody has done them wrong, somebody has treated them unfairly, they got gypped, they got shorted, life's not working out for me because I got screwed 5 years ago, life's not working out for me, I got high because, I did drugs because, and after that because is why you're a victim. So the word because is a big problem, because after it is always an excuse. It's always a reason why you're not at fault and why your life isn't under your control. So this idea that we can use this because and then play a victim afterwards, take a look at that. And if you're doing it, look, because you can only take so much of that fuel, so much of that blaming fuel, so much of that victim fuel before you have to get loaded. If you look around in your life right now and all you can see is complaints, all you can see is where you're a victim and who victimized you at your job, who victimized you in your family, who you're a victim to at treatment, who you're a victim to in your housemates, who you're a victim to anywhere. People are a victim to traffic. People are a victim to COVID. People are a victim to Trump. People are a victim to Biden. People are a victim to Black Lives Matter. People are just a victim. That's it. Like, I'm not telling you that I'm not a victim sometimes. I play the victim sometimes. I do. It helps me sometimes get some shit out that's inside of me. I get it. But for the most part, I try to stay off of that fuel because it's bad. I try to stay out of that fuel.
It's bad fuel, and you can only have so much in your body at a time before you have to get loaded. And so I try to stay on the fuel of creation. I try to stay on the fuel of love. I try to stay on this fuel of excitement and purpose and caring. And this is the thing that I'm not, that people aren't willing to admit. Are you willing to admit that you don't care about people, but you want to? Are you willing to admit that you don't feel loved, but you want to? Are you willing to admit that you feel like you don't matter? Are you willing to admit and actually stop being so goddamn cool and say, I want to matter? I want to go to work and I want the room to light up. I want to go to my family's barbecue and I want everybody to be excited to see me. I want to go and make a difference in the lives of the people around me. I want people to show me the better side of themselves. I want people to actually give me the best that they can give me. And in order to do that, it all boils down to something. If you want people to give you their best, you have to give them your best. And to give people your best, you have to actually work this program. You have to work on your response patterns to life, like we said last week. You have to work on your awareness of being a human being and the experience that it is. You have to do all this work. Now, I'm not telling you guys that I've gotten somewhere, that I'm just telling you what I see. I'm just telling you how many people play the victim. So you just ask yourself in your life, who are you a victim to? Who is currently dominating you, and who are you blaming right now for your failure? Why don't you have a house? Why have you gotten loaded? Why is your car gone? Why? Why are all this stuff happening? Why are you here? All these questions. What's really going on? And it's so easy. And I just see it as this, overwhelming people. When I see people playing the victim now, I just know one thing. They're dominated by life. They're dominated, and this is their outlet. They're in deep pain, and then they want to not accept the fact that they're in deep pain. They want to not accept the fact that they don't matter, and that's what they're really feeling. To feel like you don't make a difference, and you try, and you can't. So that leads you to something. If you could just get to a place where you can admit that you want love and you want to matter. Okay, good. Now, let's show you how. Let's show you how. Let's actually do what's recovery, and let's learn how to get love, and let's learn how to matter. Let's learn how to make a difference. And then let's look and see. Go ahead, try to make a difference and see what happens. As soon as you do, that's where the work comes in. Because now, try to make a difference and try to matter, try to feel love, try to do it. But then what happens is that you won't. Then what do you do when you don't matter? What do you do when you don't make a difference? See, now we have to stay off the gas. We have to stay off the victim gas. See, and as soon as you decide that you're going to stay off the victim gas, now you have to change as a human being. So it's that one thing right there. I'm no longer going to play a victim, which then forces you to work a recovery program. As soon as you say that, I will not allow myself to play a victim. I will not allow it. I will not allow myself to sit here and blame. I will not allow. Look, I was late. Here's one I hear a lot. I didn't wake up because my alarm clock didn't go off. Now, if I have to hear this one more time, you're a victim to your alarm clock, a machine. Let's stop that. I was late is the answer there. I was late. It ain't the alarm clock's fault. We hear it all the time. If you can't get up for your life, if you don't have gratitude, don't blame your alarm clock. Do something else. I was late. That's it. That's a fact. I lost. That's it. I got high. That's it. I lost my money. I lost my car. That's it. There's no because after it. Leave that off. And that's what we're hoping to do here. We're hoping that you guys can see it. If you stay off the victim gas, if you quit sucking that fuel in, if you quit believing it, that maybe you'll have a chance to find creation and purpose and care and love, and to find the things that actually make up the ingredients that make up a life that's worth marinating in, the ingredients that makes a life that it's worth being in, one that you won't just throw away on a Friday night on a whim because you want to get loaded, one that you will stop and think and go, no, man, my life is too good. This is too good for me to give up with drugs. I will not do it. I am not going to go on a whim and get a dime bag and then run away for a year. I have created a life that I want to be in, and I'm not a victim to my own life. I'm not a victim to everything. And that's the deal. Everyone come in, and we have to teach people to stay off that gas. Believe me, I'm once again, not Not saying that I don't do it too. Not saying that I haven't had my bouts with it. I have. But for the most part, I can see it when it's happening. I can stop it, and I can get myself back to a strategic position as a human being. How can I create a different scenario? What is my approach to this change that needs to occur? How can I be right now to make a difference? And I can admit to you that that's what I lived with for 17 years, from the time I was 20 to the time I was 37. I lived with the powerless and unmanageability of not making a difference and not mattering. And you know what I used to do to try to make a difference and try to matter? I would tell people I was bigger than I was. That was my strategy. I would tell people big fish stories about how cool I was. I would tell people my plans that I was never going to do. I would tell my grandiose delusions about who I really was when I wasn't. I would tell them about how I was going to buy a house when I didn't have a job. I would tell them about how I was going to start a business when I couldn't stay off heroin. I would tell them about how much heroin I sold when I only sold a gram. And that's what I would do to try to matter, is just make shit up. And then shit would just fall out of my mouth, and I would just make it up that I was mattering, because I wasn't willing to admit until I got sober at 37, when I walked around Kent by myself and I didn't have a friend in the world. My mom and dad dropped me off to go to a meeting, and I walked around the city of Kent after my meeting, and I thought, I don't matter. I don't matter. I don't make a difference. If I'm gone, the world does not change, and the people in my life might be sad for a minute, but I don't matter. And that was harsh, but that's where I got to. I got to that acceptance of that. And then I got to the next stage and said, but I do want to matter. I do want to make a difference. And making a difference does not mean you have to help people. It means making a difference. I think they get kind of thrown off on this 12-step thing where step 12 says you got to go help others. I don't know if that's true. You can worry about creating a garden at your house, and that's pretty good. You can worry about having a shop out back that you want, so that you can go out there and work on cars if you want, and that's pretty good. You can worry about building a greenhouse and have a greenhouse on your property and grow things. That's pretty cool. You can have a job and start a business. You could cut hair. You could draw. You could sing. You could do what Travis is doing and create for all of us tonight. And now the other thing, I see people crying a lot. Are you crying because you got shorted and you're getting cheated right now and you're a victim? And you're getting the short end of the stick? Is that what you're doing? I was crying earlier before this started because I was watching what was going on the screen, and I was crying because of creation. I was crying because it was beautiful watching what Travis has created and watching everybody work together and watching everybody get excited about making a difference in our lives. This thing that they did makes a difference. And that made me cry. So look at yourself. Are you crying because of creation? Or are you crying because you're not getting your way? And that's what we see a lot. Crying because they're a victim. And everyone in the world should change so I can be better. It ain't going to happen. And so why are you crying? And I would say the best reason to cry is because you're seeing love, you're experiencing love, or you're experiencing creation. And if you're crying because of the other thing, quit sucking on that fuel. Quit sucking down the victim fuel. That'll make you cry all day. Good for you. But I'm tired of seeing it. We're not seeing it here. And that's good. We're seeing people grow up, man up, stop being the victim, and become responsible human beings. And that's what we should be doing, isn't it? That's what we all should be doing. Manning up, being responsible. That's the other part about this. Is everyone here, everyone with me, everyone I see, everyone I've met, almost every single person I've met since I've been doing this, at heart is a leader. Everyone. They're the people I want to be around. They're leaders. They're excited. They're articulate. They're charismatic people. But they've adopted this style of playing the victim. And it's ugly. And it's not charismatic. And it's not fun to watch. And I don't want to be around it. And it's just a constant thing. So I look at the posts on Facebook. I look at people's stuff. And I just think, it's across the board. People are a victim to Trump, victim to Biden, victim to our government, victim to everything there is to be a victim to. But who says today, I just want to make a difference? And I'm going to shut my mouth until I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to shut up and make a difference. And if I'm not making a difference, I need to shut up a little longer until I make a difference. When you get that first good feeling that something shifted, that you've actually made a difference in the life of another person, that somebody else's day is better because you were in it, that somebody else smiled, laughed, did something because of you. When you get that gas, you won't want the other gas. You won't want to drink down that bullshit, that poor me bullshit. Shit happens. We suffer, fine. And we're here to teach you not to suffer. But we're also here to say, find your purpose. And it doesn't have to be anything other than, I want to build the best. I want to build my dream home. Okay, good. That's your purpose. Do it. I want everyone in my family to have a media room, and I want them all over on Saturday nights to watch movies with me. Okay, good. Do it. Do it. Find your purpose. I think too many people go, well, I don't have purpose if it's not feeding the homeless, or if it's not helping drug addicts, or if it's not, I don't know. Instead, let's just create. Let's let that be it. And the purpose for our life and the creation for our life and the not be, that gives us the clarity to commit to something that's bigger than us. Commit to something bigger than yourself. That's all you have to do. And that gives your life the motivation, that actually the context to your life. And everything else is just circumstances inside that context. But to have what's the context of your life right now? Is the context, I'm a constant victim, or is the context your purpose? And if you don't know what your purpose is, then your life might not have any context right now. And without context, you're just running around in a maze. And sooner or later, you're going to turn down the door of getting loaded, because there's nothing going on in the maze. You got to actually figure this out. What is the context of my life? I kind of set it up for myself a long time ago. I said one thing. I said, when people come into my life, I want their life to be better because they came into my life. That's it. Just leave it there. Good. Now I have purpose. Now that's the context. Anything else that happens, I got to remember the context. It might suck sometimes. People might not feel that they got their life was better because you were in it. I don't know. But for the most part, it works. It gives me purpose. It gives me something to do today. It gives me a reason to not be a victim. It gives me a reason to not complain. So I think that it needs to be clarified. And somebody asked me today in our group this morning, they asked me why so many people do it. And
Why so many people what? It started.
They asked me why so many people, why are we not taught this? And how come people are doing this playing the victim thing? And I said a couple reasons. I said, one, we're in a lower kind of depressed area of life. It's not that bad, but it's not great. There's rain. It's depressing. It can beat down on you. There's COVID. This is tough times. I mean, if there was ever a time in history that we could all play the victim, this is it. I mean, this is the time. It's a tough time. Mental illness is rampant. People are killing themselves with drugs. People are killing themselves with suicide. It's a tough time to not play the victim. But I think it's the most important that at this time, we all see if we're doing it. We stop and say, wait. This person I'm playing a victim to, have I tried? Have I made a difference? What have I done? What could I do now to get this person so I don't feel powerless with them? So look in your life and look at who you're playing the victim to, and look at you're making the bad guy, and look and see what it's doing for you. See where it's getting you. See where that fuel takes you. And then look at this other stuff: creation, commitment, caring, love. These are the fuels you can take. And then look at why you're crying. Are you crying because you're a victim and you feel sorry for yourself? Or are you crying because you created something so beautiful, or maybe your friend did? And it's so beautiful to see that tears can't be held back. Let's look. So I don't think any of this stuff for me is I'm doing anything. I just get this beautiful viewpoint to observe. And I learn from just actually seeing, not doing. I just learn from seeing it. And now I'm telling you, as I've noted tonight, that people are playing the victim. I want you to just go ahead and look, and you're going to see it everywhere. You're going to see it on MSNBC. You're going to see it on Fox. You're going to see it on every news channel. You're going to see it on television. You're going to see it on Facebook. You're going to see it in your family's dinner. You're going to see it everywhere. It's rampant. People are 100% satisfied and happy. And I think that's the way that they're trying to matter. If they can be the biggest victim, they can matter. And I think that's the attempt, is how big of a victim can I be? And if I'm the biggest victim, then I matter more than the other victims. And they actually begin to one-up each other and say, oh, really? You think you're a victim? Well, look what happened to me. And this is now the new challenge, to see who can be screwed over the most and state their case. And this is where our society's gone. This is the sickness. Where's leadership? Where's leading? Where's enrollment? Where's people that want to actually stand up and make a difference and are willing to not just state their dumbass opinion and just try to go with their opinion, but actually look at all sides, everybody's viewpoint, and come to some actual trying to make a difference. I think people are either trying to be right or they're trying to be victim, but they don't want change. They don't want success.
Roger that.
What was that?
I think someone was just giving you a thumbs up.
All
They
right.
muted themselves after that. They were saying they agreed.
So I think that, I think that's what this program that we're doing here is kind of becoming, is how can we eliminate this victimization of us here? How can we all see that none of us here that are in this room together are the victim of anything? That we actually created our world, that we did this, we created this. We created this world that we had to, it didn't start out that we were being victimized. We had to feel different. We had to feel different at all costs. We had to feel different. That's all that mattered. And then it started, we had to have a reason why we were trying to feel different. We had to have an excuse. We had to tell people why we failed, because we began a process of failing consistently. And it's embarrassing to fail. So it's a lot easier to say I got screwed over by the boss than it is to say I've been fired for the 10th time due to drugs. It's a lot easier to say I lost my kid because her mother is a bad person than it is, hey, I did this. I created this. I lost my kid. It's a lot easier to say I went to prison because my probation officer screwed me over than it is to say, no, man, I had 10 chances. And then he got me on number 11. That's hard to say. So this is tough. This is tough fucking stuff. And you got to do it. And once you say, I'm not going to take that blame juice in anymore, I'm not going to be a victim. Once you do that, recovery starts. That's the starting point of recovery. To say, never again am I going to justify my failure. Never again am I going to justify lying. Never again am I going to justify breaking my word. Never again. I'm going to be a man of my word, and I'm not going to be a victim. And that's what we're going for. That's it. That's recovery. I want us all, everyone get to a point where we can stop doing it to each other. Everybody sees they're creating their world every day. So that's what we're working on in this house, though, really. We've been talking about it all week, and we've been talking about commitment, integrity, responsibility, things that really matter, conversations that are important. And this is just a reminder for me, because again, for the third time, I have to be reminded, because I can find myself playing a victim to the Rite Aid pharmacist who took all day today. And I can walk around Rite Aid feeling sorry for myself, finding the pork rinds.
There.
You can eat pork rinds on my diet, so eat a lot of pork rinds. Yeah. So go ahead, open it up.
All right, guys. So
I want to say one more time, Travis, amazing job,
yes,
amazing. And this whole room is Travis's creation, and with the help of Dalton and the help of Liz and Cam and everybody else that's been here too. But they did this. This had nothing to do with me. This was them wanting to create, and it's beautiful here. And we have the energy is amazing in this room every night, and we all enjoy it. And it's a creation of Travis's energy actually making a difference on all of our energy. And that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, it was so beautiful. Could you see when the moms were dancing?
Yes.
That was so beautiful. Yes. Great job, Travis.
I think that song's got to stay.
Yeah. I think that song needs to be the final song every week. The final song right before we start.
Oh, okay, right before we start. Well, we got a new thing. Stay tuned tonight, because every Tuesday now, we decided to have it the closing song, and the closing song will be a dedication from someone to someone.
Oh, okay, great.
So, get your
So everybody stay tuned to the ends.
Yes. Tonight's song will be a dedication from Jeff Peterson.
Awesome. All right. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. Now it's time for open sharing, and the way that you do that is there's a raise your hand feature on your device, and you can raise your hand and get in line. I'll see it. Or if you cannot figure out that feature, no worries. Just wave your hands. You can unmute yourself, and I'll see that. That can let me know. However you need to get my attention. If you're not getting my attention, I know there was someone last week that I guess did not get my attention.
Did I just unmute myself?
Okay, yes. Randy, are you first? Welcome
I've
to your.
never done this in my life.
He's a first. Okay, this is great. Okay, Randy, this is his first. You know Randy.
I do know Randy.
His first Zoom, and he's first up. Go ahead, Randy.
Thank you so much, Art. You look very wise with that beard.
Yes, that was what I was going for. Wisdom.
I cannot believe I'm even able to do this right now. So I appreciate being on. Yeah. Hold on.
I can't see you, Randy.
Yeah. Oh, he can't see me?
No.
Okay. I can see you though.
Can you turn on your camera?
Make sure you're really fast, Randy.
How do you do? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Make sure you got all your clothes on.
There it is. Is that it?
No. It's just a black screen.
Okay, yeah, see, I can't do that. Video stop video. No. The little push my little guy there.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Maybe.
Let's come back to Randy when he gets his camera.
Okay, what is he using? Is he using a phone?
I want to say, Rochelle's still out on her own. So I was looking for a donation from my work again. Of course, I'm trying to bring money to you again. And I appreciate this video thing that I've never done. And I love listening to you, bro. So I'm going to try to keep it up every Tuesday and bring in a donation for you once again.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Very well. Very much appreciated.
And don't understand how you're dealing with this, actually, with Oregon legalizing things and how that affects your efforts and your output on that. I can't believe what they're doing. But then maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. You can explain that to me with your talk. So
yeah. Well, one, I don't live in Oregon, and two, I don't watch the news. Makes it a lot easier.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
That would be, yep.
I don't watch the news, and I don't live in Oregon, and then I'm unaffected.
Okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to some of that input, though, about that being legalized and such. So appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Glad you're on. Next week, we'll be able to see your face. I hope we can get the camera figured out, but glad you're here.
All right. Peace.
I'll just respond to that. What the governments do is in response to addiction. That was one area that I had to let go of a long time ago, because that could have frustrated me for a lifetime. And with that, I just had to get into a different place and kind of go, I don't think I'm going to make a difference in there yet, maybe later in my life or something. But at this point, I've kind of, I just stay away from judging or looking at what they do. And I do my job and stay in my lane when it comes to that, because it's an overwhelming nonsense. And as you can see, it just keeps getting worse, and they keep doing things to throw gasoline on the fire, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So at this point, for me, I'm not saying there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can at this point. I have to do my job. So I don't even really entertain the idea of looking.
Yeah.
We went to, we had a meeting with Green River College today, though, and you know, they were kind of responsive to the idea that how we could help them with drug addiction is to get rid of drug addiction at Green River College. They didn't, they thought maybe that a better idea was to be like, bring in more people to deal with drug addicts at college. But I told them that maybe college was a place to learn and not for a place to do drugs. And so the way I would help them is I would try to get the drugs off the campus. We could help them do that. And they like that. I think they were kind of open to that idea that maybe a clean campus was better than one with drugs and a bunch of counselors on it. And they were open to that idea. And so I like that because, yeah, so maybe put a team that tries to eliminate the problem rather than a team that tries to exploit it and like set up shop and treat it on campus. I don't think our campuses are places where people should be. You imagine like you got a big heroin problem and you're walking around Green River College and you're going to try to do school and your counseling appointment right after your class. I don't think you're going to make it. I think you need treatment, not school. So that was what we told them. Anyways, who's next?
There was a Deanna that unmuted herself. Did you have a question? Or was that an accident? Not sure.
No, I was just actually gonna try to help Randy because where you unmute and mute, that's also where your video is. To remove that so we could see him.
Okay, and we can't see you. Who are you? Are you new?
I know. No, I've been popping in here and there.
Yeah.
Okay.
She came over to the house today and did haircuts.
I did, yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, I was driving and I just got off work and now I'm kind of like doing some dinner. So I'm not really in front of it.
This is Art's hair lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yeah, you can look at guys. I'll show off.
Very nice. Very nice.
Slow very 360 nice. There.
Yeah, go to Cam too. We did about 6 haircuts here today. So
very nice.
Yeah, and you know,
Cam, nice.
Yeah, I do want to say though, I was really surprised. I mean, not even surprised, but I love to see today when I went to the house and I saw respect. I saw everyone helping each other. It was quiet. Like I was thinking, you know, I have kids and I usually take them with me. And I was like, oh, there's just going to be a lot of people. And I don't know, like, I don't want them running around or, you know, getting in the way. And so I just went by myself. But everyone was super helpful. Like Art didn't even have to ask, like, oh, can you move that chair? Like someone moved a chair and like got a broom and, oh, you can use my blow dryer. It was fantastic. So I just saw respect, love. It was positive and it was just calm. I don't know how else to explain that. I just don't have the words right now. So yeah, it was just really great to see.
Yeah. And what she's talking about, you guys, is Rebuild Recovery, the program that Art is running there out of the house in Kent. And she's absolutely right. It's an incredible feeling. It's an incredible energy there. This group of young people, it's the most beautiful thing I've seen in my 7 years in this world.
It really was fantastic. Like, I can't even tell you, I hadn't even gone in yet. And there's a guy walking up and he, you know, he smiles and waved like I wasn't even out of my car yet. And then someone else came around, like they're working out in the yard and they were like, oh, good morning. And I'm like, oh, good morning. You know, like just everyone was super respectful and helpful. And I think that ties into a lot that Art has helped them find some purpose, find some direction. And it was just really great to see. And I'm really glad that I went there today and was able just to be a part of the environment for a while.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Of course,
beautiful.
my 2-minute yelling at Stamp, that didn't help. But Stamp,
Well, there was music on and we were vibing and, looking like, our best selves. So I honestly didn't hear much. So.
yeah. Thank you, Deanna. Beautiful. Thank you.
And I was talking actually to a mom that her son is there and was also at a larger program before. And I was, we were comparing, there's just something so valuable about this small intimate program. Like these guys, you can't hide, in this intimate group, you just can't hide. And you're kind of forced on the court by not only Art or the team, but your fellow people that are in recovery with you. They just hold each other accountable there. Every day-to-day living life, doing chores, when a breakdown happens, when normal stuff happens because you're having a crappy moment, they're kind of forced on the court to look at that and apply it right then and there, apply the curriculum. There's just true transformation and a shift in injury happening versus just discussing the possibility of that being available. It's actually occurring in this kind of group, and you just can't hide here. So it's really beautiful. So, all right, who's next? Any questions about anything? I mentioned at the beginning about the work crew, the cleaning crew, those kinds of things. If you've got questions, I know I had, a couple of the questions that came through already on text was, do they have their own transportation and things like that? Yes, they do. And if there's any questions, please ask, because there's somebody else that's wondering the same thing. So please don't be shy. Any questions you have about the topic tonight, any question you have about anything, any thoughts, any shares, it's all welcome here. Stan Palias, go ahead. Can we get you unmuted? Let's see, ask to unmute.
Unmute.
There we go.
I did it. Yay.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, we're of the older generation, but I just had a couple of comments to make about Art's, deal about having a purpose. And I know that growing up, I didn't have the best, surroundings, and my purpose was to set goals and to find work so that I could get myself out of my mom's home and live on my own and go to college. And it took money and it took effort, but setting the goals, I had a purpose and I could make that happen, and I did it on my own. Yeah. So no, I never was involved with drugs or had any other issues. It was mainly my upbringing, and I didn't have parents that were supportive. I was basically the adult. Yeah. So I had to take on the adult responsibilities. But any one of these kids, with all the work and effort, they can do it. They can make a difference in their lives.
I think that there is something to be said for it's a different time. And I think that just in general, the amount of pitfalls that this generation has in front of them, endless amount of distractions and just the supply of drugs that is around and everything that's gone on. So we can kind of chalk that up to a different time where, and I think, even my father or whatever, it was like sink or swim. And, a lot of people did swim in that kind of fashion. And there was a lot of people, and America was just a different time. It also seemed like people honored values, and they cared about their word a lot more. And people didn't play a victim. I don't think that it even exists anymore that somebody, or it probably does, but you rarely see somebody that has a job that cares so deeply about never missing a day of work. I remember I saw my father. He was an airline mechanic, and he stood up underneath an airplane, and they have antennas that come down. and he stood up and the antenna went into his head, and it was a severe injury. And I remember my dad telling him, no, he'll stay and finish his shift because he hadn't missed a day of work. And I just don't see that kind of value placed on that stuff anymore. You know, it's not like that anymore. And so it's just different. But I think we got to restore that. I mean, I think we do that. Restore the idea that I would have a job and never miss a day of work. Restore that in it, and the keeping of your word, you know, and the goal setting and achieving those goals, and say, this is what I did for myself. Yeah, you're right. Commitment, to commit to something, and actually meet what it means I commit to it.
Right.
Means I'm not going to miss it. You know?
Well, you feel good about yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody else you don't have to worry about anybody else. You just have to feel good about yourself.
That's right. And not keeping your word has got to really wear on you as a human.
Yeah.
And not honoring your commitments, it's got to wear you down, you know, and make you feel inferior, make you feel like you owe everybody money or something.
True.
Not keeping your word makes you feel like you owe everybody money. You know, that's just how it feels. And it doesn't feel good to owe everybody money. You want to have good credit. You want to have money. So yeah, it's important things that we didn't have the time to work on before. And now we do. And now I see it as, you know, getting clean is pretty fundamental. And a lot of these guys have done it many times for brief periods of time. But actually staying clean because I found a purpose and I'm committed and I'm no longer a victim, that's a different story.
Right.
To not blame and not justify my existence. And I see a lot of people they get clean and then they exist. You know, they just exist. Video games are a big thing that people are doing to try to exist. Exist on video games. Exist on just being. You can't exist very long. It's not fun. You got to create. You got to be doing some kind of committed actions. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we've got Kristen Lindstrom in line. Let's get you unmuted. Are you there yet? Let's see. Ask to unmute. There we go.
Okay.
Hey, Kristen.
Unmuted. Hi, Angie. So Art, I like listening to every week, and I liked how you were talking about, you know, you really need to have a purpose. And I like your examples of purpose. And I guess I see, you know, one of the pitfalls of some of these kids are, you know, I have to have a house. I have to have a job that makes this much money. And it's like, those are sort of, the expectations are sometimes unreasonable. And I loved the other week where you were talking about your neighbor and you know, he's 97 years old. He's out there doing his own roof. He's doing his own yard. And look, kids, isn't that a meaningful life? Because it is, you know, he's taking care of himself. He's doing things, and in his cutting his lawn, he's probably noticing the habits of nature or whatever. But I guess you know, I liked the toned down sort of expectations, you know, create, but it's not necessarily to create because you want the money so that you can do something else. It's creation for creation's sake sometimes. But I love some of your examples of, you know, this is a meaningful life. It doesn't have to be this big grandiose pattern of what other people think is successful. It's smaller things, smaller, maybe more meaningful things. I don't know. Anyway, thanks. I loved your reflections and I love your energy. That's all I have to say.
Chris, I think it's so important for people to, especially for me, one of the most important things for me to figure out was that money was a result of one of two things. Money was a result of a service rendered. So either I had a service or I solved a problem. So I make money because I either solve a problem for someone People make money because they solve, the more money you make, it's because you solve more problems than other people. Or the more money you make, it's because you provide more service than somebody else. And so to make money to buy a house is the result of the purpose. And the purpose is, what problems are you going to solve for people? Are you going to solve, what service are you going to render? So what do you want to solve for people? And what service do you want to render? That's how money results. It results in services rendered, or it results as, this is the problems I solve for people. People that are loaded, they solve big problems. People that have little money, they might solve little problems, but everybody solves problems. Maybe somebody solves the problem of cleaning a bathroom and it's dirty, so they solve that problem. Maybe somebody else solves the problem of getting somebody to New York from Atlanta, so they own an airline. Maybe somebody else solves the problem of somebody's hungry and I feed them. But money is a result of solving problems. A house is a byproduct of purpose. I mean, really, if you find out your goals and if you find what to do, you will have a hard time avoiding finding a place to live. But first, if you find out, what do you want to do? What do you want? How do you want to make a difference in this world? Now, if you think, well, I just want to get a house because I want to matter. People have a house and they don't feel like they matter. So now you might get a house and you just still don't matter because you haven't really done what it takes to solve problems or render a service that you enjoy rendering. And so that's what it's about, is actually starting right here. And early recovery and being here in this house or being in any recovery place is a brilliant opportunity to find out what you want. Because there's very little expectations on you right now. There's very little people saying you need to go do something. So it's a beautiful time to kind of clear everything out and go, look, I can take this time to figure out what purpose my life is going to have when I leave here. I can take this time to say, what service I want to provide for people. What do you want to do? You want to drive people? You want to clean their house? You want to mow their lawn? You want to cut their trees? You want to cut their hair? What is it that you want to provide for people? You want to walk their dog? You want to sell a product to them? What do you want to solve with that product? A broom solves the product of a dirty floor. People that sell a lot of brooms solve a lot of problems. That's why you make money, okay? And so all you have to do is look at this thing and look at what it is that you want to solve for people. Cole's going and leaving here Friday, and he's planning on saving a little money and heading back to Montana. And he's going to solve a beautiful problem. There's guys that don't know how to fish the river. Cole's going to teach them and show them how to fish the river. That's an amazing thing to do because he knows and has the skill. So this is a beautiful time to figure out what it is that you want to do. Because if you think you just want to get money so you can get a house, there's nothing there, guys. There's nothing there but an empty house. And I want you to all take a look at what you've done in your life in an empty house when nobody's watching. Just look. If you think you want to do that, and you find all these distractions when you don't have a purpose. There's all these things. There's clinging. And what we do when we don't have a purpose and we don't have commitments is we find somebody else that might not be purposeful and might not have commitments, and we kind of cling together. We kind of hang out. We kind of watch a lot of TV. We go, hey, you don't have a purpose, and you're kind of wandering, and I'm kind of lost. Let's hug. And then we're stuck. And then we're miserable with each other because we both don't have a purpose. And so hopefully you'll find it. Hopefully this is what you'll do. And building a life is about that. We have to have this creation in our life. Without the fuel of creation, without the fuel of making a difference, we are just going to drink the fuel of victimization. And that only lasts a little while until you have to get loaded because you're pinned in by sniper fire. You're a victim to everyone. You're pinned down in a foxhole. You're blaming everybody. You're a victim to everybody. And the only thing that cures that is a nice shot of heroin or a nice hit of meth. It's the only thing that takes it away, or some booze. So that's this important part, man. And nobody else can help you find your purpose, by the way. This is you. What do you enjoy? What do you think about? What do you want to do? This is you taking control of your life. Nobody's going to help you with that. They can't. Because if
okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We got two people in line. Alyssa Maggard, can we get you unmuted? And then we'll go to Kim Wilbur. Hey, Alyssa, can we see you on video? Have we met you?
No, just a minute, sorry. Let me try to get the video on. Sorry, it says it's unable to access my camera.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Have we
Okay,
met yet?
no, you haven't. I just want to ask for advice on a situation that I don't really know how to handle. My mother-in-law struggles with addiction, and she went through your guys' program a couple of times. And back in December, because I'm from California, back in December, I came to visit her, and there was a big fallout, and a big confrontation happened, and I haven't spoken to her since. And I'm just not really sure how to go about it. I don't know if I should get a hold of her or if I should wait for her to get a hold of me. I just know that she's really struggling right now with addiction, and I care for her very dearly, and I do love her. I just don't really know how to go about it. I mean, do I wait for her to be ready and to get a hold of me? I just don't know how to support her. Yeah, I just don't know how to really go about that.
Well, listen, at this point, I can't really, I wish I could just advise you over the phone or over this call, but I don't know the circumstances right now, and I don't know what's going on. You sound very young. How old are you?
I'm 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it would hurt if you.
You talk all the time.
You know, I don't think it would hurt if you reached out and just checked in and seen if the person was okay. It can't hurt the situation any. You know.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, and you don't have to fear it. Nothing's going to happen to the phone. You can just see if somebody's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that person is close to our program, and we'll get our arms around them and we'll take care of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to be angry though, and you can be if you want to be, but it's not about that. So just reach out. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, she's always on my mind. I'm always thinking about her, and I just didn't really know how to go about it or how to handle it. Because the last time we spoke, it wasn't very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just tell her how you feel.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right, Kim Wilbur. Can we get you unmuted?
Okay.
Hey there.
Sorry. Hi. I don't know why can you hear me?
Yes, we can see your knees.
I know. I don't know why it's pointing that direction. My phone's just all weird tonight.
Actually,
anyway.
Anthony, you should do a Zoom class.
I know, right? Teach us old folks how to work this thing.
On Wednesdays, 11 a.m., I can help you all with that. Kristen and I will hook you up. Join us for coffee, and we'll work out the kinks.
Yeah, I have to say I've never had the phone point at my feet before. It's weird. But my question was, Art, when you talk about finding your purpose, and you spoke a lot about what sounds like jobs or things that make money and services, and does that also include maybe just next steps in your life? Maybe that's
yeah, I think
how do I want to
what we're doing is you got to define the context of your current life. You know, it doesn't have to be forever, but right now this is the context. You know, even if they were to state right now it's just about my recovery program and not using drugs. And that's a phase of development that I went through where I didn't have a purpose outside of that. And that's immediate, that's a short-term immediate thing. And then I'm just talking about, you know, next steps and long-term, and not putting the cart before the horse, and not saying I need a job because I need money. And that, you know, I will say that that's of course obvious. You need a job, that you need money, but really I want them to be thinking about creation. And you know, it happens with families in addiction too. Look at how many years maybe a family's going along and everything's great, and they're creating vacations, and they're creating for their future, and they're buying a boat and taking the family out on the boat, and they're buying an RV and going on great trips, and then addiction hits. And all of a sudden creation stops and the world stops. And what you're left with is everybody becoming kind of a victim to addiction. And how much does that fuel taint the whole family? And the blame game starts. And that's why we all get sick. We get sick from playing the victim.
Okay. So it can be any steps. It's just what's needed at that time in your life.
Sure. And I think the steps are there, but I think that behind the steps got to be your true motivation. You know, what is this for? Well, I want to get a car. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, I've seen these kids, a lot of them want to get a car because they want to live in it. Now, they didn't know that they didn't know it, but they get the car because they want freedom. And they think the car is going to give them freedom to not work a recovery program. So then you put pressure on someone with a car and they pack their stuff and they go get high and live at Walmart. So you got to check why they want a car. And they say, well, I want to go live at my parents, or I want to go live I want to get an apartment. And all these guys know. And I've seen tons of kids say, I want to get an apartment. I want to get an apartment. On day one, get loaded in that apartment on the first day. So they got to check their true motivation and purpose behind wanting to get that apartment. Why do you want to get it? Do you know what it's like to sit in your apartment alone and not use drugs? Have you ever experienced that? Well, if you haven't, you should kind of check out what you're doing here. Are you ready to be alone? Are you ready to be in an apartment? Are you ready to be not accounted for? Maybe not. And so, finding the purpose and the true motivation and the creation of what we're doing. Are we creating or are we trying to escape with our goals? And for the most part,
okay, the difference between those two things.
For the most part,
hitting the nail right there.
I've seen a lot of people try to escape with their goals rather than try to create a better life for themselves. It's just an escape route. Because the pressure of being here with me, the pressure of being in any treatment center, the pressure of living in sober housing, there's pressure there and you're accountable. And people are trying to escape that accountability all the time. And if you ask them if they're trying to escape the pressure, they'll deny it. They will deny it every time. They'll say, no. I'm not trying to escape. So yeah, I think there's got to be a distinction between setting goals to escape. I just need to get my first paycheck so I can get out of this place. And getting your first paycheck so you can begin to put it in the bank and pay off debt and create a life. So thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Kim. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left, so there's still time for questions and shares. Let's see if there's anybody new that we haven't met yet. Todd Miller's in the house. Hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Todd. How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Good to see you guys too.
Really good to see you. Oh, Kevin Ninnis is raising his hands.
Nice to see you, Todd.
What was that, Art?
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to check in on these solution groups, so you'll see more.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Good to hear, Todd. All right, yes, did we get you unmuted, Kevin?
I believe so.
Great.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Kevin. Feels good to be here. I am in recovery myself. I've heard a lot of great things about this meeting, this place, and all this that I'm experiencing right now, and it seems very real. I'm a very real person, so it's good to hear no bullshit because this disease is no game. So it's very good to be here, and I don't want to talk too much. I just want to listen, and I just want to introduce myself and say thank you for allowing me to attend. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
You're very welcome.
Great to meet you, Kevin. Glad you're here. Speaking of no bullshit, I see a lot of no bullshit hug shirts out there again this week. Always love seeing those. Okay, Kyle's got his hand up. Let's get you unmuted, Kyle.
I'm just saying hi, Todd.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get you on Spotlight. Hey, Todd.
Kyle,
saying hi.
One joke, Kyle.
Okay. Now I can say, hey, Kyle. I saw you in there.
Yeah. You hit me up, bro.
Travis, good to see you too, bud. And I saw Emily in there. And
Yeah.
Sonia even. So yeah, nice to see everyone.
Yeah, dude.
One joke, Kyle.
Okay. All right, this one is pretty cheesy. So the other day we were, with all the diet stuff going on, we've been having Velveeta cheese with everything. And I had a bowl of it, and I spilt it all over the ground. And I wanted to cover up before Art found out, and he came in, he saw me on the ground, he said, "Kyle, what are you doing?" And I said, "Not your problem." That's it.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Let's see. Got any more hands out there? Let's see. Oh, hey, Bill and Becky are waving. Let's do it. Add spotlight, unmute. Hey, guys.
Hey, I don't have anything of real value to say. I just want to give a shout out to Kevin. I love Kevin Ninnis. And I am so glad to see you tuned in tonight. I've known him since forever, since he was 2. And I've talked to him many times about this group. And I'm so excited to see him on camera tonight. So love you, Kevin.
Beautiful. That goddamn Christmas tree is still up.
It's a Valentine tree now.
Okay.
Hopefully Kevin heard that. Kevin, did you catch that?
I hear it. I love
Okay.
you, man. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, it's a Valentine's tree now. Art, this is a thing.
Oh, sorry.
It's a real thing.
No,
And
thing.
Becky sent me the link for it too, and I forgot to send it to Art for you, Becky. But it's a thing.